good day. I am Ricky Camacho, Registrar of the Antigua and Barbuda Intellectual Property and Commerce Office, known as the BIPCO. Today we have with us none other than the legendary style icon, Miss Noreen Phillips.
Yes, thank you. Nice to be here.
Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in Antigua and Barbuda?
What to tell you about me? I came to Antigua 42 years ago and needed a job, and landed a job with one of your fashion designer, Pat Fredericks, who is no longer with us, God bless her soul. And from there, I worked with her for 6 months, and then I became a sales representative for Joseph Jews of Danza West Indies Limited. 3 years later, I resigned and opened my own shop, having sewn for my friends and their neighbors on my bed at home. I had a little sewing machine, and one of my friends met me one day and said, you know, Noreen, you're so good at what you do, why don't you open a shop? And I said, well, I don't have the means to do so. And I said, well, I can't afford the rent, i.e. And so she says, leave it up to me. So she went down to the Deepwater Harbor and spoke with the general manager of the Port Authority. At the time, they had the little spaces, 100 square feet at the Deepwater Harbor, and I rented the shop $100 a month. And that's how I started. And I learned the trade from my mother, who is a dressmaker, who still is, and my grandmother merchandising, who sold textiles and haberdashery.
And what does it mean to you to be a female creator and innovator?
I don't like to distinguish myself as a female. I like to distinguish myself as a person who is doing what I do. It is what I do because I love what I do. My clients enhance me to be creative and to do what I do. Yeah.
And I've recently seen that you have expanded. So professionally, what is your goal? You keep evolving, you keep growing, and I think that's really admirable.
At 70 years old, I am evolving and I'm growing. Can I go further than I have that where I am now? Not really, not really. I need a break. I am not going to retire. I can't retire because the clients are not allowing me to retire. Now, the original shop is still in St. John's. And during COVID, we decided that for 2 years, there was no business, naturally. And so I say, you know, that piece of land is at Tradewinds. Let's put something there so I can bring my clients and still have my market going. And so we did that. But now that we've done that, the visitors are saying, you can't move. You cannot move from here. And you agree with them. So I have the best of both worlds. I am there, I will be there, and I am at Tradewinds above Sandals Halcyon Cove. And there I will transcend the business to more evening, wedding, celebration.
And to the women who are watching us and listening in, who maybe don't feel as confident or maybe don't see themselves as stylish, what advice would you give to them?
The women who wear the clothes, I work with them, but I will meet them halfway, and I would always advise, please trust me. Please trust me. And always remember, a woman, it doesn't matter where you're going, a woman is never overdressed.
What advice would you give to persons or young women along these path lines of starting a business or protecting their intellectual property or their, their work?
They need to firstly know what they want. If they can, put it to pen and paper. If not, they can ask someone to sit with them. They can sit and speak to someone who will advise them. I'm happy to speak to them if they want to. Don't expect nothing for nothing. Do not take anything for granted. I have been exposed to agencies, government agencies, who come in and say, oh, Miss Phillips, we will pay for your brochure. And these things are not inexpensive. We will pay for your brochure. So my first flyer that I made was one leaf, that double fold. And because I was told that the agency will subsidize 70% of that, I went ahead and done it. I took money from where I could not afford to do it. Meaning you're paying the overdraft on it and the interest, etc., to do it. And so the time come now for them, for the government agencies, to refund the monies as promised, and you're still waiting for it after 40 years. That's a true story. So there is no one who is going to help you. There is no one who has ever helped me, and I'm not looking for any help. I am prepared to work and put the hours in to reach my goals and to achieve what I want in life. And so they have to understand that. They have to understand that. You have to put your body and soul into whatever you're going to do.
Do you see yourself as an icon?
No, I don't know that I'm an icon. I know that, for example, Saturday afternoon, two young ladies came in and she's looking for a bridal, and she had no idea. And there I am, sitting on my sewing machine, and I'm making this garment for this client, and while speaking to me, she said, oh, Noreen Phillips, the shop in town. We went into the shop and we saw Noreen Phillips. And I said, yeah? And she said, yes. And so she told us to come here. But she had no idea that I was Noreen Phillips. So I said, well, I am Noreen Phillips. And the young lady, she just wiped her face. She put her hand to her face. And she said, I am so honored to meet you. I had no idea it was you. I've heard of you. I've watched you on television. I walk in here. I have no idea that was you. I am who I am.
Well, I would think that, including myself, you've been an inspiration to me as a young person, because I think many of us lack confidence and the ability to believe in ourselves. And I think that you bring that to our landscape, to many Antiguan and Barbudan women who, that's what I talked about, positive body image, because I think that most of us, a lot of us in this country don't fit the narrative of what we see every day. I've got a big pair of hips. I need a pair of pants for those big hips.
Camouflage those hips. So do we camouflage those hips?
Right.
But I will get dressed. I will get dressed and I will walk Redcliffe Street. And if no one said to me, Miss Phillips, you look great, trust me, I'm going back to the shop, I'm going to change, I'm going to put on something else, and I'm going to walk the same street and I'm going to hear from everybody, you look great, you know, that sort of thing. I've been invited to functions and I wore an evening gown. And you know, everybody walked in, what are they going to say? She looked great. They're not going to say it's not appropriate. They simply say it looks great.
So what is style to you?
Style is fashion, being yourself, being different. Being different. I cut my hats, I wear them upside down. It's the cold part, you know, and my clients would come to my shop. Now I tie my head, I do all sorts of things. I shave my head, and the clients would come in and they would forever ask, where is your hat?
I would say the hat, I definitely would identify with thinking about you and hats.
Where is the hat? And you can wear a pair of jeans with a t-shirt, with your hat and a stiletto, a little lipstick on your lips.
And I think so many of us feel that fashion or style is unattainable for us, or, you know, or it's unaffordable. And I think those are labels.
That's not true. I kept saying and pressing that everyone can afford to buy something at Noreen Phillips Couturiere. I'm not saying I will have the entire market, because we work with you. We work with you. We show you the textiles. we say, this will cost $5, this will cost $10, this will cost $15. Let's work within your scope of your budget and still give you something that is perfectly stylish.
So how can we keep up with Noreen Phillips and what she's doing? How will we be able to keep up with you? Would we have to visit the shop? Is there an Instagram page? Is there a Facebook page? How will we know?
There's an Instagram page, there is a Facebook page. It's all on the bag. It's all on the flyer that we would give you when we hand it to you. And my daughter, Claudette Eastwood, she manages my social media.
Okay.
And she's on the ball. And you can call me 24 hours a day, and I would always pick up my cell phone, always.
So to the viewing public and listening public, what entrepreneurial advice would you like to leave with them?
Well, again, I say work hard. Work hard, set your goals, and build your blocks. And don't stand at the foot of the ladder and gaze at the sky and ask, how can I get up if I never try?
Well, I want to thank you on behalf of the Antigua and Barbuda Intellectual Property and Commerce Office for your time and your wisdom, and for all the work that you've done to make our country more stylish and colorful. And I look forward to keep seeing you evolving and what's going to come out of Noreen Phillips.